successfully rescued in an operation that the police and members of the public undertook on the 3rd of October 2022 in Chalala area of Lusaka district. Ladies and gentlemen, it is imperative for the citizenry to understand that this country has adequate laws to deter and protect every citizen from any form of crime, including abduction and related offenses such as human trafficking. Ladies and gentlemen, members of the press, beginning from March 2022 to last month of September 2022, the Zambia Police Service, especially in Lusaka district, received complaints of abductions which were made at Lusaka Central, Chilenje, Chawama, and Chilanga police stations, respectively. Among these cases included the abduction of female Pamela Chisumpa, aged 21 years, a mobile money agent who's alleged to have been abducted on the 13th of April 2022 from her mobile money booth situated in Lusaka business district near ShopRite on Cairo Road. Members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, the Zambia Police Service, working in collaboration with other stakeholders, have worked tirelessly to pursue these cases and used any piece of information they came across to break the syndicate of the alleged cases of abductions in Zambia. What complicated the breakthrough into this matter was the fact that the perpetrators targeted people they knew from their school days. Members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, the brief facts are that between 17th March and 18th June 2022, 4 female mobile money agents were abducted, namely Faith Muluti, aged 28, Pamela Chisupa, aged 21, Paksina Chanda, aged 22, and Machwani Nalukui, aged 21. Paksina Chanda, and between 15th August and 20 September 2022, 9 nursing students from a named university in Chilanga district were abducted from their boarding houses. This made it very difficult as parents thought their children were in school, as well as the authorities assuming that students could have gone home. And as such, there were no reports that were made to any police station pertaining to the 9 students. The first victim was Faith Muluti. She was abducted by 2 men in Makeni, Simonson area. The abductors impersonated police officers who were trying to trace a stolen phone. The abductors coerced Faith to follow them to a police station, and in the process, she was abducted. On 13th April 2022, around 14 hours, while operating at her booth near ShopRite along Cairo Road, Pamela Chisumpa was approached by a person she identified as James Wan, a former classmate at a named secondary school in Kawa. And in the process, she was abducted. The third victim was Paksina Chanda, a resident of Lilanda Township in Lusaka. On 14th May 2022, while working at her booth, situated along Lumumba Road, Paksina was approached by a person she identified as James Wan. a former classmate at a named secondary school in Kabo. She was picked up from her booth and later got abducted. The fourth mobile money agent victim was Matwani Nalukui of John Howard. On 18th June 2022, whilst operating at her booth along Lumumba Road, Matwani was approached by a person she identified as Jordan, a usual customer at her booth. In the process, she was also abducted. As earlier alluded to, other victims included nursing students from a named university in Chilanga district. The first victim was Priscilla Maplanga, aged 23 years, on 15th August 2022. Priscilla was abducted by James Wadia, a former classmate. The abductor, James Wadia, she was to collect from a named filling station in Lai area. The victim, Rosemary Chigwe, took Priscilla's laptop to a named filling station as agreed. In the process, she fell in the trap and got abducted. The abductors used similar modus operandi to lure the other 6 students from the same university. These are Nesta Lungu, age 25, abducted on 31st August 2022. Grace Siabelua, age 22, abducted on 12th September 2022. Ruth Banda, aged 21, abducted on 16th September 2022. Tawanda Wadia, aged 17, abducted on 16th September 2022. Felista Sargentu, aged 17, abducted on 16th September 2022. Agnes Kakwaya, aged 21, abducted on 18th September 2022. And Dorcas Tungo, aged 24, who was abducted on 20th September 2022. Ladies and gentlemen, the Zambia Police Service has so far apprehended and detained 5 suspects in these cases, who include the James Wadia and Charles Kaonga, who were apprehended with the help from members of the public in Kema district in Western Province. The police further instituted investigations to establish the claim that one victim was murdered and buried within the same premises. The results of the search so far within the premises showed that there was no dead body that was buried around the same place. Ladies and gentlemen, the Zambia police are still pursuing investigations in this matter, and as a ministry, we shall endeavor to keep you informed of the progress we are making. As Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security, I'm appealing to members of the public to join forces with the Zambia Police Service in the fight against this particular crime. To this end, I'm calling upon patriotic Zambians with information related to this banter to inform the police so that we can successfully prosecute the suspects in the courts of law. May I also take this opportunity to advise members of the public to desist from posting unverified information such as comments bordering on the health of the victims, as this has the potential to mislead the public and also affect the investigations. I would like to thank you more sincerely, members of the press, members of the public, for the support and the understanding you have so far rendered to Zambia Police and the victims of this heinous act. I thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Honorable Minister. In the interest of time, possibly I will limit the questions to 3, unless the Minister says otherwise. And let's ensure that our questions are strictly on the subject at hand. So questions, colleagues from the media, this is the opportunity. Yes, you introduce your name, you tell us where you're coming from.
Thanks so very much, Honorable Minister. My name is Alfonso Kasongo from CBC Television. Minister, there is a video that is circulating, and in that video there is the suspect, and this suspect said, with due respect, the police did nothing in his apprehension. What does this mean to you as a minister? Thank you.
Second question. All the questions were centering on the circulating video. Honorable Minister, you will take up the questions.
Thank you very much, my brother. I did listen to the video and the comments that were being made by the apprehended criminal. I want to state in no uncertain terms that I want to state that the police did a lot in this matter. Only that we cannot divulge some of the things which the police did, because that will affect investigations. I will not want to go in the details of how he was apprehended, because the police played a part. You are aware, as members of the press and the public, that immediately the 13 dear ladies were rescued, the police service did publish the names and the identity of those individuals who were alleged to have committed the crimes. As a result of the publicity that was made by the Zambia police, those criminals who committed a very serious offense against the people of this country were apprehended. I would not want to go in the other details, but I would want to state that the intention of that criminal is to divert the intention of the public so that the public can now target the Zambia police in this matter. My plea to the public is that let the investigations continue without distractions so that we get to the bottom of this particular crime that was committed. It's a crime that all of us would not want to repeat itself in this country. And I would appeal to members of the public, as I indicated earlier, that let's work together to protect our women and other members of the public from similar acts that can be done or committed against our people by criminals like the one who's making those allegations.
Yes, madam.
Good afternoon, Minister.
Good afternoon.
My name is Patricia Mapiki from ZMBC. I hope my question is not really premature, as in to try and move ahead of time. But from the investigations that have been gathered so far, have you established the intention of the abductors? Why were they keeping the girls? Was it an issue of human trafficking, or there were other ulterior motives? And secondly, we are aware that as of now, they are being taken care of at a health facility provided for by the government through the Zambia police. Also wanted to know how the conditions are.
Thank you very much, Patricia. Definitely your question is premature. I wouldn't want to delve into the details of the investigations and what we have found because we are still interviewing the victims and we are still interrogating the perpetrators of these heinous acts. I wouldn't want to go in detail. I also want to state that the victims are under the care of the Zambia Police Service at the health facility where they are being looked after in a manner that I would deem acceptable. Arising from the question of posed, I would like to plead with members of the public to stop making certain comments pertaining to the acts that were done against our sisters. If we continue making those unfortunate comments, we'll be increasing the trauma from their part. I would appeal that all of us must be making comments that should assist our sisters to heal. Certain comments, if we continue, will make them live a life that will not be in the interest of all of us. It will affect their well-being. I plead, especially members of the press, let's not be commenting on what happened to them, how they were treated, and so on. I don't think that will be in the interest of all of us. That's my view on this particular.
The last hand? Yes?
Good afternoon. My name is Rhoda Mbula from Diamond TV. Minister, I'd like to find out, I don't know if my question is also premature, if you're able to tell us who the owner of the house is, and there was a coffin that was found at a crime scene. Have you established what it was used for?
As I indicated earlier, investigations are still going on. The perpetrators of this crime are being interrogated. We'll get to the bottom of the issue pertaining to the presence of the coffin in that particular house. And also, I wouldn't want to indicate who the owner of the house is because the investigations are still going on.
We only have a few questions.
Anyway, it's okay.
Yes?
Good afternoon, Honorable Minister. My name is Clara Mchinta from Zambia Daily. You did inform us that the dugout which was taking place at the crime scene yielded no result. But are you in a position to state whether truly there was someone who was murdered from that house and got taken elsewhere?
The last we wanted to have
Patricia.
another question.
Mine, I really don't know how to phrase this question, but this is actually for you, Minister, as a minister in charge of this ministry. You're on record from the time the first case of Pamela's abduction was reported. You stood your ground and you stood firm that you are on top of things and that the girl is alive and that she's safe, despite your critics coming on because of the period that it took to unveil the detail. Where we are now and the work that the police has done to ensure that these criminals have been brought to book, how does that make you feel as the man at the helm of this ministry, and also how do you feel about these officers? Are you proud of them? Are you confident in your team?
Thank you very much. The first question relates to whether we have any evidence pertaining to whether somebody was murdered at that house. We don't have any. We are still investigating. So at an appropriate time, we'll be able to respond to that issue. Patricia, you have posed a question as to how I feel pertaining to the investigations of this particular matter. I'm happy to note that the 13 dear sisters have been rescued alive with the assistance of members of the public. I'm proud of it. I'm proud to state that members of the public came forward to cooperate with us, as we have always been making pleas to members of the public, that please, those who have information and who can be able to assist to resolve this matter came forward. I'm proud that members of the public came forward. And even in this press briefing, I have appealed to members of the public to give all the requisite support to Zambia Police to enable us to resolve these abductions and any other cases that are affecting the nation. I will not hesitate to say that the Zambia Police Service needs support in terms of equipment and other tools which can assist them investigate this particular matter or similar matters. I would like to state that in this investigation, Zambia Police was not working alone. We did cooperate and collaborate with the other stakeholders, including ZICTA, in trying to trace and find these perpetrators. As I indicated earlier, investigations are still going on. We have a lot of information now which we cannot disclose to the public pertaining to how these cases were being. You do recall, I did mention that these abductions were difficult to investigate, taking into account that there was familiarity between the victims and the abductors. The abductors in this case were head boy, senior prefects at the school where the victims were students. They were very, very close friends with the abductors, the victims. As I indicated, those we are investigating, we do not want to go in detail over this one. At an appropriate time, we'll be able to disclose as to what really transpired. For today, we just want to give you the latest information pertaining to the investigations we have done. But we will not go in detail because the investigations are still going on. And we want to protect the integrity of the investigations. That's what I can say. But as I said, these first 6, the ones who are not students, are all related in one way or the other in terms of friendship to the abductors. And they were at the same school. That's why you remember the members of the public were saying, Pamela was dragged from the booth. We have told you that's not what happened. It's because they knew each other with these abductors. But unfortunately, they ended up being abducted and abused by these criminals who committed this heinous act. But for the time being, that's what we can tell you. The details will come later. As I indicated, we are still investigating. We are still interviewing the dear ladies, and we are interviewing the abductors. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a situation in the court belt. I have to rush to Chidelabombwe. If you don't mind, can you allow me to go to not Silvabombe Kasumbalesa? There's a situation there. I have to get to Kasumbalesa just now.
Shall we all rise and allow